Time to set the record straight.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another very exciting episode of Duke Nukem Time to Kill. I'm still Niggeroth, and it seems that Duke, after defeating the Reaper, has managed to make his way back to the present, and yet something seems a bit off. It's not just the fact that the subway has been flooded, but it seems that we haven't actually fixed what was wrong with time. That's right, just going back to the Old West apparently was not enough to correct the machinations of the aliens with their traveling through time in an effort to destroy Duke's future. And there's only one thing we can do about that, and that's to take the fight to the aliens. That's right. As we slowly waddle our way through the water, back through the semi-familiar streets, it appears that we're going to have to find another time machine. But it seems that since the sewers, the previous place where the time machine resided, has now been blocked off, it seems we're going to have to find some other place to go. Before we do that, though, we're going to visit the previous apartment complex of the Dominatrix to find that it has been turned into some poorly defended rebellion outpost with a warehouse key. And 12 Chimps is obviously a parody of 13 Monkeys, a Terry Gilliam film, which, if you haven't had a chance to see, you should probably see. And here is another new enemy. These guys are patrol robots with very deadly, I would say Gatling guns on top, but I'm not exactly sure. They seem to be the same weapon that the Reaper had.
I don't dig on the new strippers. Someone's gonna pay.
Yes, and it seems that the changes not only range to the architecture and propaganda.
Oh, baby, you need a facelift.
But also to the strippers, and we can't abide by that.
Now that's what I call a double bagger.
I would agree, Duke. But there is a little bit of ammunition back here for a shotgun in case you might need any. Looking at my health, though, I would say we are more in need of health, as those patrol robots did quite a number on me. And I really can't let these disgusting pig women survive, even though I'm sure it wasn't by choice that they got into their filthy, devilish, filthy acts. But the warehouse is actually right here, and normally we would just storm the front, but first I'm going to snipe at some ankles, just to try to weed out some guys before we actually make our full entrance in there.
Oh yeah.
Because the warehouse is actually filled to the brim with enemies. That's right. The enemy base is full of enemies.
Time to clean out the garage.
That's not a garage at all, Duke, you silly man. But instead of going that way, we're actually going to be taking a secret entrance. By climbing this conveniently placed dumpster, we are able to get inside the factory in a little bit easier manner. Or warehouse, I should say. It's not the safest way in, as you'll see here in just a second, but it does unlock a secret, and I'm trying my best to 100% this game for you, the viewing public. But in all reality, the aliens have kept a pretty human setup for their warehouse. I mean, this is clearly an office that we're in. It would seem a bit strange that with all the alien technology, that the aliens would still choose to set up their offices in a very human manner. But here is the first.
Great. This again.
Here's the first of 3 crystals. Duke commenting on the fact that all of this seems very familiar. And as we are in need of health and there is a bathroom nearby, figured I would take the advantage and get a little bit of extra health here. Also, noticing an enemy's head clipping through the toilet, figured I would interrupt his pee time with a little death time. Now 5 health isn't really that much.
Hey, what can I say?
I don't know, Duke, what can you say? I can't say anything. I'm speechless. But 5 health may not seem like a lot, but every little bit helps, and as of right now, being down at 50 health, we definitely need the assistance. There was another little thing right there I haven't really shown off before.
Ooh, that hit the spot.
By using a vending machine, you can actually get back 1 health, and you can do that up to 100. The thing is, at 50 to 60 health, that can be very time consuming. There are also smoking machines nearby, or smoke vending machines. These will actually decrease your health by 1, and this is a public service announcement that smoking is bad. But now that we are in the warehouse proper, I will proceed to get shot in the back numerous times before realizing where the bullets are coming from. The warehouse itself is incredibly full of drac. Yep, as stated before, enemies aplenty. But somewhere in the midst of all these free-floating platforms is the crystals that we are searching for, and we obviously need to continue back through our journeys through time. Oh, Duke, always being caught by surprise. But I have the drop on these guys. Special delivery boys.
You'll make a great belt.
They will make great belts. Possibly boots. But considering that you've blown them to smithereens, Duke, I doubt you'll have very much to work with. But actually, the crystal is at the bottom of this particular room. Before that, though, I'll go ahead and refill up on my jetpack to make my life a little bit easier in the future. You can't really have enough jetpacks in the past screwing with, the time-space continuum. And since there is a portable medkit here, I decided to go ahead and fill myself up to 100 and refill my medkit. So we'll just go ahead and pick up...
I'm an ass kicker, not a rock digger.
That is incredibly witty, Duke. He is definitely not a rock picker. God, I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm just suffering a bit of an aneurysm here trying to think that line over. But now that we have the red crystal, we can actually use it to power the conveyor belt in this conveniently placed crystal thing.
Now I'm getting somewhere.
That's right, Duke. It's that positivity that will keep you going. But instead of going down the conveyor belt, we'll actually use a
There was something here.
rather odd secret in the fact that it actually doesn't hold anything directly. It's kind of just a shortcut to get past the conveyor belt door.
That ought to shut you up.
The only problem is that by bypassing the conveyor belt door, you've actually screwed yourself over further into the level, as you need that conveyor belt on
I feel good.
to progress further into the stage. So either way, you're going to have to backtrack back into that door to open it up. And here I am showing off a bit of weird collision with this low-hanging platform here. I really want to get into the water, and I was hoping that I could just roll in, but sadly, not the case. There is another secret down here at the bottom of this tank, as there's a bit of a hard-to-see pathway circling underneath and leading into this rather large room that we saw in one of the security cameras earlier. For the most part, we don't need really any of the items in here outside the pistol clips and the armor, but the armor is definitely appreciated. So we'll just go ahead and swim back out through this rather cumbersomely built tank, and we'll continue on onto the platform leading into the next available area. Basically, the conveyor belt that you may be seeing down to the lower left here would not be on, and the door leading out would not be open had we not used the crystal. So it's good to know this ahead of time. Much like any game, it's good to know